Alright guys, I hope everyone is well. Let's get started. Let's check the NASDAQ weekend chart. I did see something about America and Israel planning to do a very big attack, and they've called for the evacuation of a lot of Middle East countries, including Egypt, Qatar, obviously Iran, those types of countries. I saw that this morning, so as of right now, the market's going to open 1,800 pips to the upside, which is very strange. I'm thinking with this news about Trump, it's definitely going to affect the market, maybe to the downside. That's what it's supposed to do, but we've seen that with all this manipulation, that's not always the case. Anyways, we're going to get started on the weekly chart here. Firstly, by marking out this very big liquidity sweep. I am on the weekly chart, so this thing's fucking massive. I definitely think we're going to come back to that. Another thing I can see is this very big gap here, which is a nice gap that could be used because there's some resistance here that hasn't been used yet. So let's put that in there. The attack got cancelled. Oh yeah. Well, that's a good thing. Anyways, you can see another small gap here that looks like an NWOG. Two NWOGs here actually, so I'm just gonna use one block to mark out this NWOG here and this NWOG here. This I want to make a different color so that we know it's an NWOG. I'm gonna make it, oh fuck. Gonna make this one black so that it doesn't take too much of a space. So for the weekly, that's all I'm seeing right now. Let's also just mark out this resistance. We'll mark it out there. I'm going to dive down to the daily chart. Before we continue, we need to check out the news for next week. We've got PMI on Monday. Forecast is quite high, so maybe trade that, maybe not. We've got we've got NFP on Friday, which should be a pretty good one. The forecast is pretty high that I'm seeing right now. What I like to do with NFP is I like to check what happened the previous year, the same month. So August last year, the actual was 73k, and the forecast was 106k. This time the forecast is 88,000. As you guys can see, most of the times NFPs are buys if you look at the data. So I'm thinking, obviously, already we're leaning towards buys for that, but we cannot tell right now. We're gonna have to wait for Friday. Even sometimes when the actual is higher than the forecast, the market still sells, which is very strange. It's that's due to manipulation and smart money moving the markets. Anyways, back to the analysis. I'm gonna change this color to something else, maybe like a gray. There we go. I can see somewhat of a support zone here. Let's mark that out. Blue. And then obviously we mark out our resistance. Gonna make that one red. This candlestick here that's a daily candlestick, so I think definitely, as you can see, it got used for sells here, tapped into this zone. What would be ideal is if we can come back up in the beginning of the week, come back into this NWOG here, or even this NWOG here, and then maybe sell from there. I do not think we're going to break these all-time highs very fast. I think we're going to come back down into this zone first, and then we'll start looking for all-time highs again. So now we're gonna go dive down to the 4 hour, reset chart view. I'm gonna draw a fib from the highest point to the lowest point. So now what we do in this fib is we look for zones that match with our other zones. So this fib aligns quite decent with our support here, so I'm just going to move it up a little bit just so that it matches with the fib as well. As you can see, perfect tap there, 2 taps here, another tap here, and a tap a little bit more up, and then came back to the downside. We've got another zone here in the fib, which is in this gap here, also where that other candlestick was on the daily chart. I think it's called the doji, I'm not even sure, but yeah. For the fib, I want to use this color. Now we're going to draw our trend lines. This one looks very sketchy to me. I think I'm going to draw it from here. Tap, tap. So what we do with the trend lines is when we draw our trend line, we want it to tap once or twice, not 3 times, because the third tap is where we're going to take our trade. So as example, let's say the market opens and we take it from here and it taps like here somewhere. Market comes in there. that would be a good trade because it's already in one of our fib zones, it's inside of this gap, and it aligns with the trend line, which will be our third tap. And then from there, obviously, we're going to look to dive deeper. That's what I'm seeing as of right now. Market's going to open to the upside, so 2,100 pips, which is good. Let me just check here. 28,378. 28,378. So market's gonna open basically on this fib level right here. So what could happen is market opens here and we can go straight to the downside. Obviously we're gonna monitor all the situations and see what works best. I really want us to tap into this zone. From here we can start looking at all-time highs again. Now I'm gonna go dive to the 1 hour, reset chart view. I'm just gonna take this away. So I can already see this is going to be a potential sell zone for us, pretty big one, as we already have 3 confluences when it does tap into that, so that's a very good zone. As I've mentioned, market could open here and just dump straight, but I don't think that'll be the case. I definitely think we're going to move into this, maybe even take this NWOG here. It's a fucking huge NWOG. As you can see, when you line it up, it's been used a couple times. It taps into the NWOG here, comes to the downside, taps again here, comes to the downside, taps again here, comes to the downside, and then, you know, the pattern goes on. Anyways guys, for now that's a very simple analysis. That's what I'm seeing, that's what I want for the week to go. Come to this upside, take a nice sell all the way down here, could be good. Now I just want to mark out, let me go back to the daily. Okay, so this golden line is the previous resistance that we had in up until March. Then we had that crazy bull run. So guys, that's the analysis. Thanks for tuning in. You know, July was a great month. Ended it with a 90% win rate. The best month we had this year. The rest of the year was a little bit difficult, sitting on around 60-65% win rate. I think August is going to be another banger month. The goal is going to be having an 80% win rate or more than that. Anyways, gents, thanks for tuning in. Hope you guys are blessed, and we'll see you Monday.